Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you're doing well. We are continuing this hilarious book that I got for $2 at the used bookstore. But funny thing is, it wasn't used. It was brand new, but it was squeezed in there, super tiny. And I go along hunting for the most niche books I can find. It's hilarious, by the way. Alright. Now, I call it Yorkshire. But I heard it's also called Yorkshire. Just depends. I'll call it both, I guess, because I'll forget. But it is super funny. Let's continue. Okay. It has little witticisms. Dreams are your mind's way of taking a dump. Life is like a box of chocolates, multi-layered and over with too soon. And this was graffiti in a pub toilet in Sheffield. Life is generally something that happens elsewhere. Boredom is a luxury. That's true, but I mean, even when you're poor and you're working labor, the monotony of it all can really wear you down. Being smarter than you look is better than looking smarter than you are. Ooh, that's a little spicy, ain't it? Always underdress. Say words in your head before you don't say them out loud. Give him enough rope and he will hang himself. Denial only gives a rumor more substance. This one's difficult, right? It's such a difficult one because, no, like you have a sense of justice for yourself and you want to be redeemed and you're like, no, I want to refute that. But then there's that side of Shakespeare that says, methinks me doth protest too much. You see, it's such a, oh, they're quiet because it's true. Oh, they're talking about it because it's true. So either way you go, somebody's going to accuse you of that, right? The grass might be greener, but it still needs mowing. Oh, I want to use that one. Other people say that the grass is greener on the other side because it gets watered, right? All's not fair in love and war. You can just get away with more. Ooh, you can get away with more. Always live in the ugliest house on the street. Then you don't have to look at it. That's funny. Yeah, that's a little funny, right? I believe that in the end, the truth will conquer. Never trust a man who wears ankle socks. Oh, snap. Life is like a box of sardines, and we are all looking for the key. I don't get that one. Aren't tears weird things? Water trickling out of the eyes? What a strange way to reveal extremes of emotion. Who came up with that? Now, I don't know about you, but at about this time of night, I like to slip a petri dish under a rabbit. I didn't get that one. There was one really that was a little bit weird. Sha-la-la-la-la. I didn't get that one. Mark my words, when a society has to resort to the lavatory for its humor, the writing is on the wall. That one is really clever. That's clever, because it has, okay, so you'll find funny things written in the bathroom. But when you say the writing's on the wall, it's like you're saying that the signs are very apparent. That's a funny one. That's very witty, I must say. Okay, this one says, Alex, Yorkshire Wisdom. Surely that's an oxymoron. Dave, you're a fucking moron. Conversation from a bar in Leeds. Let's see. We started off trying to set up a small anarchist community, but people wouldn't obey the rules. Joe, the thing that I hate is... Sam, people interrupting. Joe, no, seriously, I hate... Sam, people finishing your sentences. The conversation somewhere in Sheffield. Ah, yes, Frank Sinatra. He met me once, you know. I'm not Jesus, though I have the same initials. Oh, okay. Ambition is best tempered with self-knowledge. Ooh, there you go. It's usually an exposing spectacle when two big egos clash. That's true. I like those. Those are fun, you know? Kind of a guilty pleasure. I'm still Sean that me mates went to school with, not Sean the film star, and that's the way I prefer it to be. Sean Ben, actor from Sheffield. Let's not get too precious about it. Actors are not heart surgeons or brain surgeons. We are just entertaining people. That's true. The first page would be drugs I have taken, and then a list. The next page would be people I have slept with, and then another list. Then the last page would be famous people I have partied with, and then another list, because that's all people write in their autobiographies. Cut out all the bullshit and it's just a 3-page pamphlet. Ray Jarman on celebrity autobiographies, musician and frontman from Wakefield. That's kind of true. Yeah, like they kind of just list the debauchery and whatnot. Ignorance and arrogance are an unnervingly common and toxic mix. We grow small trying to be great. Ooh. He talks of San Francisco. He's from Hunter's Bar. I don't quite know the distance, but I'm sure that's far. What the heck? Successful bullshitters need good memories. I don't really want it going on me, Tombstone, that I was the person who waggled his arse at Michael Jackson. Jarvis Cocker, musician and frontman from Sheffield. But he who dares not grasp the thorn should never crave the rose. Ooh. Anne Brunt, a novelist and poet from West Yorkshire. That's interesting. So if you want the rose, you gotta get ready for them thorns. I was walking to get some coffee, and there was a rose bush there. Oh, it smelled so great, and I was really just not thinking, and I grabbed the stem to pull it towards my nose. It's one of those long-stemmed ones, and all these little tiny thorns like just hurt my fingers. It's really funny how you can forget that some plants have thorns. Did I ever tell you about the time Shane McGowan came into our dressing room and smoked crack through an apple? What the heck? Ricky Wilson, singer and pop panel judge, West Yorkshire. They can't censor the gleam in my eye. The gleam in my eye. Oh, I don't know the answer to anything. I'm just a silly pop star. Jarvis Cocker, musician and frontman from Sheffield. It'd be more funny if I knew who those celebs were, because I don't. Ear all, see all, say not, eat all, sup all, pay not. And if the does out for naught, do it for this'n. That must be even more funnier in an English accent. I'm not Marty, it's just me face. What's the done that with the knob? I don't get it. Attempt to strike up a conversation on the tube in London, and the whole carriage will look at you like you have mental health issues. Try it on a bus or train in Yorkshire, however, and you'd be a good listener. Why would anyone question chips and gravy? Ooh, that's ooh. We're neary for an haircut. I were looking for my keys for half an hour. They were on bastard side. Always double check on side, I tell thee. Keeping up with the Joneses. I can assure you there's no Joneses living on my street. I couldn't pronounce half the names. They're all right in mind. That's funny. Yeah. You know, because when we say like keeping up with the Joneses, we mean like they've bought in a better car, they've remodeled their windows, stuff like that. You know, they planted a very beautiful tree, and you want to keep up with them in terms of the appearance of their house. But he's all like, there's no one named with the Joneses on my street. We talked about it for 20 minutes and then we decided I was right. You pay for water, you must be softened. That one was difficult too because the way he has the apostrophes. Yeah, water though, man. You want to get good clean water, you gotta pay for that. Especially in California where they recycle water. Look at him, standing there like a cheese at 4 days. Okay, so 4 old pennies was expensive. Oh, okay. She'd cut a currant in 2 and save half for tomorrow. Put wood in the old lad. Shut the door. We must be at least 10 miles from a lemon. Whatever, lemon's not that common in England? You can't grow them there? I wouldn't say that I'm proud to be from Yorkshire, but I most certainly appreciate it. That's funny. Money isn't important, but you do have to have enough, so you don't have to think about it. Thinking about money is a drag. That's true. Those who say that money does not matter usually have too little or too much. That's a good point. I can do that too, but I'm not on the has a whole lot side. I'm more like minimalist. To hell with poverty. We'll get drunk on cheap wine. What? Money is like oxygen. We need it to survive. We make some money, we spend some, we make some, we spend some. Breathing in, breathing out. Not accept this fact is the equivalent of trying to hold your breath all the time. Have you ever met someone who was generous with their money who you didn't like? No, me either. Ooh. Generosity can really make people endear themselves to you, can it? Love is more important than money, but cuddles don't pay the mortgage. That is really true. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to love a husband if he ain't providing, I'll tell you that. He's gonna watch you starve, you and your kids. I'd say you better go find a way to love someone with more money. Money can't buy you love, but it can help you find it. I know that's right. You can feel a lot of resentment towards someone who isn't providing. Because as a woman, if you chose someone who's a loser intentionally, and your kids, don't have health care, this is a problem. Not saying that if you're in abject poverty that you shouldn't have kids, but because we have to have, our hierarchies and our place in society. And the funniest part, though, is rich people don't have as many kids as poor people. And you don't need half of what you think you need. But there are some things you do need. And if someone can't meet that, you better be smart and make sure that you can be with somebody who can provide. A week is a long time in politics. That's very true. That was from Harold Wilson, Prime Minister from Huddersfield. They say that politics is all about style over substance. Unfortunately, if you take a look around, you'll find that applies in most careers. Ooh, style over substance. I think my channel is really rich on substance, but not with style. Style is in editing and a soundboard, all that, but really deep on substance. I've always believed that it is not possible to be in the world and not be political. That is, I agree. That one I think is spot on. I'm always slightly suspicious of those who talk at full volume when they know they're within earshot of strangers. Oh, I've done that before. Yeah, back in the day, you know. Sometimes we just loud people. Italians, we loud. I always thought weird of people who were. I guess it's a balance, because if you're like whispering, like, what are you doing? You're up to something. Yeah. Politics and prostitution, probably the two oldest professions. Need I say more? That's so clever. You know, because like both are a drag on society, right? Both are scummy career choices. The worst kind of people broken go into them for the wrong reasons, for money only. I'd rather someone admit to having no opinion at all than simply take someone else's and cast it off as their own. Like grifters, like pearly things. The concept of so-called civilized weapons of war is on par with the idea of cannibals using cutlery. Ah, that is very clever. So, civilized weapons of war, that's the same as a cannibals using cutlery? Yeah, instead of a cannibal just grabbing at me like, munch, munch, we're like, we're not gonna use these type of weapons, we're gonna use other types of weapons. You know? That is... See, I like this. The English, man, they're very witty. I always liked the older books. They got all the English witticisms. Not today, because I don't think England is as scholarly as it used to be. But there's something about the Irish and Scottish and English witticisms of the 17th, 16th century. Because, man, they're just funny. Familiarity with evil brings not contempt, but acceptance. Ooh. There is nothing wrong with sitting on the fence if you tried standing either side beforehand. Tim Pool? I can accept a bullshitter if he's an entertaining performer. And I can cope with a bore if he's accurate and well-informed. That's interesting. So when someone's like a bore, like they're just blunt to the point, just hitting it, and they're not as finessed, they're not as smooth in their delivery. But if they're accurate and well informed, you know, it can be quite interesting, can't it? Ah, that's clever. I think, excuse me, sorry. I think you should take your job seriously, but not yourself. That is the best combination. I don't know, man. I feel like if you take your job seriously, you'll be better performing. That's just me. Maybe it just depends on the job. This is the only job I can do. McDonald's wouldn't employ me. And that was a musician. Take your job seriously if you must, but learn to unequivocally release yourself from it when you are not working. Oh, that is so true. Being able to realize you're not on the clock. It is very hard to lose your job in the civil service. I once turned up to work drunk from the night before, fell asleep at my desk, and then vomited in an office bin. I'm not sure anyone even noticed. What the heck is he doing? Sometimes it feels like the only positive thing about my job is that it allows me to appreciate not being at work now and then. Oh, that's a witty, almost nihilistic way of looking at it, isn't it? I used to want to be an acrobatic chef, but these days I'm not so sure. Obviously not. What the heck? Those who look forward to going to work have either got a great job or a terrible home life. Oh, boy. Ain't that the truth? That's interesting. Ooh. After science, that which comes nearest to expressing the inexpressible is music. And woven into the fabric of this harsh existence was music. You can tell a lot about someone by the way they play football. Not how good they are, but how they hold themselves on the pitch, how hard they work, how they read the game. I don't care what anyone says. The cliché lazy ball hogger will always be a bit of a knob off the field on some level. I don't know. That's a very interesting way to look at it. And I think when they say football, they mean soccer. I think. Yeah, I know that the the Latinos and the English call soccer football. I don't watch soccer. To say that these men paid their shillings to watch 22 hirelings kick a ball is merely to say that a violin is wood and catgut, that Hamlet is so much paper and ink. Oh, that's kind of a nice way to talk about soccer. I feel a little guilty because I've mocked soccer before. But you mean volleyball is more dumb than soccer? Well, at least in my opinion. Right, lads? Stand around in likely places. What are you talking about? Once the travel bug bites, there is no known antidote, and I know that I shall be happily infected until the end of my life. Ooh, it would be nice to travel, but it would also be very paranoid. Kind of like being home and being around familiar areas, not being lost. Let's see. You'll not get any quotes from me, pal. I'll tell you that for nothing. And one from Yorkshire, which is a quote, right? Alright, we finished it. Yeah, that's all the quotes I wanted to share. I read all of it and I highlighted the ones that I wanted to share. And then there were some there that I hadn't annotated that I shared with you. So, look at that. Woohoo! We finished it! We finished it! Tiny cute book, but I highly recommend it, by Joe Morwood. These are great coffee table books. So, icebreakers. You want to say something funny, something witty, impress your boss when he comes into work. Say something funny to the dentist. I like stuff like that. I hope I find another one. I'll give the used bookstore a couple cycles. Etsy was great for finding used books, but since the trolls got me banned on there, I haven't created a new account. But it's great when you find very niche vintage books and stuff that you're not going to find in Barnes & Noble or mainstream Copperfield books, these mainstream stuff. And in fact, one bookstore, Barnes & Noble, that's pretty far away actually for me, closed. So sadly it's going to get harder and harder out there, but hunting for used bookstores is pretty fun because you never know what you're going to find and it takes a while to get there, and they're always in these really unique locations. And if there's any estate sales, I always like to look in their book pile. So hopefully I can find some cool estate sales to go to, get me some books and stuff. I really want to find the Babylonian Talmud books from an estate sale, because the only ones I've seen online, the whole collections are like $1,000. And there's a free one that I downloaded that I printed, but I've already printed like hundreds upon hundreds of pages, and I don't want to have the thick stacks of printed paper when I can have it condensed in actual voluminous books. The Islamic books are very affordable, but the Jewish books are always very expensive. So if I ever go to an estate sale, hopefully I can find that, but you have to go to the Jewish areas, which would be pretty fun. See what kind of books they have, because some of the newer generations, they're not keeping the books of their grandparents and whatnot. So someone like me can always go up there and get them for pennies on the dollar, instead of buying them all outright on a seller who is upping the price with too much capital. But that's just me. So if you can, head on over to a used bookstore, see what they got over there. I hope you enjoyed this series. This will be the final episode because we finished it. It was a petite book, but petite books, I have so many. I don't share all of them, but there's the great ones you keep, and this is definitely one I'm going to keep. So hopefully you liked it. By the way, if you'd like to join my blog, it's www.subscribestar.com/MilahanArchive. Hope to see you there.